Finding life rather dull? Dreaming again of exotic places? Wishing you were somewhere else? We offer you escape! Good evening. Studio B Productions would like to bring to you a reproduction of Escape. Today's story, The Most Dangerous Game. You are alone and unarmed in the green hell of the Caribbean jungle. You're being trailed by a pack of fiercely hungry hounds and a manhunter armed for the kill. Tonight, we escape to an island in the Caribbean and a weird sportsmanship of a madman, as Richard Corrin tells in his unforgettable story, The Most Dangerous Game. My name is Rainsford. You may have heard of me. I make my living hunting big game for many of the major museums in the world, guiding parties of sportsmen on safari, Africa, Tibet, and South America. Perhaps you've had occasion to run across some of my books. But even if you have, there's one incident that you won't find described in them. The full story of my most terrible hunt. It all began aboard a private yacht en route to Rio. Whitney, my host, and I were smoking our pipes on deck, lounging back in the steamer chairs and enjoying the sensuous drowsiness of the warm night. Good dinner, eh? Excellent. I'm afraid I ate too much, though. Care for some gin rummy? Oh, no, I don't care to move. All right. There's a rather large island off to the right somewhere. It's something of a mystery. Really? Oh, I didn't know. What island is it? The old Chots call it Ship Trap Island. Suggestive name, isn't it? Sailors have a curious dread of the place. Some superstition. I can see it. Well, you have good eyes, but even you can't see 4 miles or so through the moonless Caribbean night. No, not even 4 yards. It is dark, isn't it? It'll be light enough in Rio. Oh, by the way, I hope the guns have come from Purdy's. We should have good jaguar hunting up in the Amazon. Great sport, hunting. Best in the world. For the hunter, not for the jaguar. Oh, why not? They have no understanding? Well, even so, I rather think they understand one thing. Fear. The fear of pain, the fear of death. Huh? Oh, rotten. Who cares how the jaguar feels? Perhaps the jaguar does. Oh, you're a big game hunter, not a philosopher. Look, the world is made out of 2 classes, the hunter and the hunted. We're lucky enough to be the hunters. You think we've passed that island yet? Well, I can't tell in the dark. I hope so. Why? Well, the place has a reputation. A bad one. Cannibals? Hardly. Even cannibals wouldn't live in such an isolated spot. But it's got into sailors' legends somehow. Did you notice? The crew seemed jumpy today. Yeah, they were. Strange, as you mentioned. Yes, it's sort of a dread, kind of mental chill. I'll be hanged if I haven't felt it myself. Oh, pure imagination. Where one superstitious sailor can affect a whole ship's company with his fear. Maybe. Sometimes sailors have an extra sense which tells them when they're in danger. Yeah. Enough of that. I think I'll turn in. I'm not sleepy. I'll just have another pipe. Well, good night then. See you in the morning. Yes. Good night, Whitney. It was very dark. So dark I could have slept without closing my eyes. The night would have been my eyelids. I puffed at my pipe and got drowsy. Then I was wide awake. A gun out there in the water. A gun! I sprang to the rail, strained my eyes in the direction of those shots, but I couldn't see a thing. I leaped up on the rail to get better elevation, and my pipe, striking a rope, was knocked out of my mouth. I lunged for it, and tight fingers closed around my heart as I realized I had reached too far and had lost my balance. Ah! The blood-warm waters of the Caribbean closed over my head. When I came to the surface, the wash from the speeding yacht slashed salt water into my mouth, making me gag and strangling me. I coughed, spat out, found my voice. Help! 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 The lights from the boat moved steadily away. They faded into firefly pinpoints of light. Then, they were blotted out by the night. I struggled out of most of my clothes and then turned toward the direction where I had heard those shots. I began swimming, slowly, disturbing my strength. For an endless time I fought the sea. Then I began to count my strokes. I thought I could possibly do another 100 until someone was shooting game, almost at my very elbow, it seemed. It gave me fresh vitality. I swam towards the sound. Then it was in the breakers. In another moment, I was dragging myself over the swirling waters, pulling myself hand over the narrow beach, gasping, panting for breath. I saw that the dense jungle came down from the edge of the cliff, and I was on land, pleasant land, safe on the soft, warm sand. I awoke late in the afternoon, a sharp hunger picking at me. As I slowly came to my feet, I saw not far from where I'd been lying signs of a terrible struggle in the underbrush that sloped so sharply to the beach. Some wounded thing, evidently a large animal, had thrashed about there in its death fight. And almost at my feet was a small glittering object, an empty cartridge from a .22. That was odd. The hunter had had his nerve to tackle a large brute with so small a gun. I examined the ground closely and found what I'd hoped for, the print of hunting boots. They pointed up towards the recess in the cliff, and I hurried quickly after them, for night was beginning to settle on the island. It was already dark when I came upon it. First I thought it was a village. There were so many lights. But as I came closer, I saw that all the lights were in one building. The chateau on a high bluff. In a few moments, my bare feet were padding up stone steps, and I stood in front of a massive oak door. Good evening. Oh, please don't be alarmed. There's no need for that gun. I'm no robber. It sounds silly, but I fell off a yacht. My name is Senor Rainsford of New York City. He was certainly not alarmed by me, this giant who stood facing me. A revolver in his hand continued to point steadily at my chest. Then the man behind it was solidly built and black-bearded to the waist, and silent. He waved me in with the gun and closed the door behind me. I was in a huge hall, but there was no time to look around. Another man was coming down the broad marble stairs, an erect, slender man in evening clothes. I stepped toward him. I've just been explaining to this chap that I've had an accident. My name is Sanger Ravesard.
It is a great pleasure and honor to welcome Mr. Rainsford, a celebrated hunter, to my home.
Well, thank you.
I have read your book on hunting snow leopards in Tibet. I am General Lazar.
Believe me, General, I'm very happy to see you.
All right, Ivan, you may put down that gun. This gentleman is a guest.
Ivan is an incredibly strong fellow, but he has had the misfortune of being a mute. Simple thing, but a bit of a savage. I'm even happy to see him.
Come, we should not be chatting. Here, Ivan, clothes, food, rest. We shall have them. This is the most restful spot.
I can't tell you how grateful I am.
It is my pleasure. Follow Ivan, if you please, Mr. Rainsford. I was about to have my dinner, but it can wait. I think my clothes will fit you.
I followed the man into a huge beam-ceiling bedroom with a canopy bed large enough for 6 men. Ivan silently laid out an evening suit, and as I put it on, I noticed that it came from a London tailor. And Whitney had called this place too primitive or isolated even for cannibals. I went downstairs, sat down opposite Azarov in the dining room that suggested the baronial hall of feudal times. The food was excellent.
Perhaps you were surprised that I recognized your name. But I read all books on hunting, published in English, French, and Russian. I have but one passion in life, and that is the hunt.
Why, I noticed you had some wonderful heads here. That Cape Buffalo over there is the largest I've ever seen.
Oh, that fellow. Yes, he charged me, threw me against a tree, fractured my skull. But I got the brute.
I've always thought that the Cape Buffalo, the most dangerous of all big game.
No, the Cape Buffalo is not the most dangerous.
No?
Here in my preserve on this island, I hunt more dangerous game.
What is it, big game on this island?
The biggest.
Really?
Oh, it is not here, naturally. I had to stock the island.
Oh, what have you imported, General? Tigers?
No. Hunting tigers has ceased to interest me when I exhausted their possibilities. There is no trail left for tigers, no real danger. I live for danger. Cigarette, Mr. Rance, please. We will have some capital hunting, you and I.
But what game?
You'll be amused, I know. I think I may say in all modesty that I have done a rare thing. I have invented a new sensation. May I pour you another glass of port?
Thank you.
I have been a hunter all my life, but after many years of enjoyment, I found that the hunt no longer fascinated me. It had ceased to be what you call a sporting proposition. I always got my quarry, always. There is no greater bore than perfection.
Then you are a very good hunter, General.
No, I had merely discovered that the animal has nothing but his legs and his instincts. Instinct is no match for reason. When I realized this, it was a tragic moment for me. As I told you, I love to hunt. And then it came to me as an inspiration what I must do.
And that was?
I had to invent a new animal to hunt.
A new animal? Why, you're joking.
I assure you I am not, sir, and you animal. And so I found one. I bought this island, built this house, and here I do my hunting. The island is perfect for my purpose. There are jungles with the mazes of trails in them, hills, swamps.
And the animals, General?
It supplies me with the most intense excitement of all. I never grow bored now, for I have a quarry with which I can match my wits. And a ideal quarry with courage, cunning, and above all, reason.
But no animal can reason.
My dear fellow, there is one that can.
I can't believe you're serious. What, some sort of grisly joke?
Of course I'm serious. I'm speaking of hunting.
You're speaking of murder!
Surely your experiences in the
It would not make me condone cold-blooded murder.
Now, Vajor, you'll forget your notion when you go hunting with me. But you have a genuine trail in store for you.
Thank you, I'm a hunter, not a murderer.
Oh, dear me, that unfortunate word again. But I hunt the scum of the earth. Sailors from trout, sheep, lascars, Mongols.
Where do you get them?
This island is called Ship Trap. There is a row of lights out there on the reef which indicate the channel. But there is none, only rocks. I control the lights from my tower.
You wreck their ships and then you shoot down the men.
Oh, but I treat my visitors with every consideration. Plenty of good food and exercise. They get into splendid physical condition. You shall see for yourself tomorrow. Would you like some more port?
What shall I see tomorrow?
We'll visit my training school. It's in the sailor. I have about a dozen there now. Sailors, and fairly a lot. Regulate, more accustomed to the deck than the jungle. Ivan will have a coffee now. Thick, darkish coffee. You will like it.
No.
Is your appetite quite gone?
No coffee, thank you.
Just for little. It's a game, you see. I suggest the one that we go hunting. I give him 3 hours start. I am to follow armed only with a pistol of smallest caliber and range. My quarry eludes me for 3 whole days. He wins the game. If I find him, he loses.
And if he refuses to be hunted?
Oh, I give him the option. If he won't hunt, I turn him over to Ivan. Here Ivan once served as official executioner for the Great White Tsar, and he has his own ideas of sport. Variable they choose to hunt.
And if they win?
To date, I have not lost. I don't want you to think me a blackguard. Once there was one that almost did me, and eventually I had to use the dogs.
The dogs?
Hey, step over here to the window a moment. I want you to see my courtyard. Go ahead, Mr. Renford. Open the window, please.